Welcome to another video and welcome to designing a character with me. So this also goes on to how I draw. I first create a sketch usually on 1 to 2 layers, 1 layer for the body. If I'm like doing something else and I want to experience with the body, I'll usually put a head on the separate layer and then just kind of like draw the body and then attach the head after I'm done. So it doesn't really like interfere with my sketching process. But for designing a character, which this is a Apocalypse OC, I'm just going to add that. And her name is Friju, meaning innocent. Actually, I'm probably going to change her name. She's probably not going to be an innocent character. I mean, if you're like fighting for your life every day against zombies, it's not going to be really a thing. So a thing I like to do when I make a character is I like to state, so she's probably going to be, I'm going to make her 24 years old. So I write their age, no name yet. So for names, for most of my recent characters, I like picking out a name that would like more of describe them. Cole was an accident, okay? I love Cole to death and he's one of my prized characters, but he was not supposed to become an actual thing. And then I was just like, trio. Hee funny. How much fun would it be if I actually made him an official character? And that's how Cole was created. He doesn't even have a reference sheet, y'all. He does have a palette though. Right there, that's his palette. And then underneath his legs palette, which is a character I made for my friend. And we don't really talk anymore, so I'm not sure if I'm going to continue using his character because I'm a little salty about that. I'm allowed to be salty about that. I'm not even sure if he still watches my channel. he comments on some of my videos, so maybe. Anyways, back on track. So I kind of want to start fleshing out the idea of the character, like her personality traits. Obviously, she's going to be a very strong character. And that's going to reflect in her name as well. I usually just look up names meaning strength, names meaning like what I want them to mean. But since I've been doing that for most of my recent characters, I haven't been doing that for all of them, so most of them don't have a meaning. Naomi, I literally showed a girl in my class a picture like of the first Naomi I did, and I was just like, pick a name for her, and she said Naomi, and I'm just like, perfect, thank you, and then I walked away. She was probably really confused. So she's going to be a very strong character. Physically, I don't know. So basically, what I do is I just write down a bunch of stuff on the side. Their goals and everything is usually kept a secret, and I usually build that up in my head and ask for feedback from my boyfriend because he's an actual writer in this, and he helps me write half of the stuff I post. But yeah. I'll continue writing, and then I'll come back when I actually have a bit of a complex. To finish doing the line art for this, and as I'm doing the line art, I'll tell you a little bit about this character so I can start making stories about her. Joy! Hey, so we're discussing the lore of my character, Amaris, which means child of the moon. I wanted to give her a name meaning moon in some way because she mainly comes out at night to avoid most of the zombies that seek the warmth of the sun in the daytime. Not many zombies are out at night. They usually go somewhere at night to hunker down. They don't sleep. That's the thing. Also, you see me playing with the canvas. Amaris is 24 years old. She's about 2 to 3 years in the apocalypse, and she has a partner, a character I still need to create, and she doesn't have the best taste in fashion, but she tries. Her original dream was to be a fashion designer when she grew up, and so therefore she's very good at sewing and fixing clothing. She lost all of her family in the apocalypse, unfortunately, and they passed away. And so she is pretty much alone, other than this other person that she travels with and whom she is very close with. She has a cat where she just saw a small cat on the side of the road. It was just like at the very beginning of the apocalypse and decided you're mine now. And since most people don't raid, they usually got rid of their pets or let them go. So most of the animal shops were not raided and therefore had a lot of supplies for her to take care of her new furry friend. She lives in the woods primarily, but there's a town nearby that she goes to do supply runs, and she really enjoys it. She is a very caring person, but she's also really protective, which can get overbearing sometimes, as she wants to kind of like put everyone she loves in a small box and lock them away and make sure that nobody can hurt the people she cares about, which can be overbearing for her partner some days, but he usually gets used to it. She also fixed up the boots thinking they were broken, but they weren't, so she just kind of does it as a stylistic choice now. It's very hard for her to find shoewear that actually fits, so she started making her own. She gets raw materials from the store, and then she started making her own shoes and everything so that she wouldn't have to have trouble foraging for it. They were in a survival group up until recently when their camp got raided while they were out on supply runs, and they came back to almost everybody being turned into mining and eating zombies. And yeah. Also, her partner is hiding more secrets than she knows. He is a very secretive person, and he may be hiding some things that she's not aware of. Oh, that's all the lore I have for now, so enjoy the video! Okay, now we're gonna start choosing colors for her. And I apologize for this, forever I say, but I really don't know how to do darker skinned characters. I prefer to stick to the skin tone I am, which I'm a very pale person. And so I'm able to use most of my skin to directly reflect on how I color. So I'm gonna choose a orangish kind of pale skin tone for her. Also, a reference doesn't have to be perfect. You can make mistakes and errors in it as long as you have the color swatches and everything. Have a basic rough idea that only you understand. And I use this color because I don't use grayish, orangish, gray orange in a lot of my drawings. So it's a perfect color to put down lighter colors and see if it clashes with anything. So now I'm gonna put the eyes back and choose another color for her hair. And I think she will have... Also, making a character is highly up to preference, but it's also good to see about her environment. If she's in a zombie apocalypse, she's probably going to be spending half and half time outside, so she would have more of a mid-tone hair color. She wouldn't have it too light, and she wouldn't have it too dark. I'll fix this in a moment. I'm just laying down base colors. It's always good to put colors on a different layer, so if you end up not liking it, you can always switch it and it'd be good. Also, this ribbon piece, I saw it, if you were watching my speed paint or my quick speed paint while I was doing it, this is going to hold significance. It was a last minute added detail. And you can do those. So, I'm gonna do more to orange, about maybe that color. Alpha lock it, and watch the magic. As you can see, changes the vibe completely, but still looks nice. And so now for the outfits, I think I'm going to do this a dark color. So I'm going to go over to a dark blue and color in that. I'll probably do a faded forest green for the sweater, because it's a sweater that she found left at a discounted store that she thought was cheap, that she thought was cute, and she's had it ever since. And she is really good at sewing, which is what she was actually going to do before the whole apocalypse thing happened. I am making up lore as I go. Probably going to write this down somewhere. And it's good to think about what a character's life would be like in their environment. So she has some green. I'm gonna do dark brown for the gloves. And the scarf. And the shoes. You can always reuse colors and put them in different places in the area to give it a more interesting look. Then I'm going to do, for these, I'm going to do a lighter brown. Then that just leaves the bow, the shorts, and the socks. Socks, pretty simple. I'm going to do a dark color for them. And for the shorts, probably gonna do a dark grayish blue. And for the bow, I think that's going to be the pop of color, really. I'm going to do it as purple. And then her eyes are going to be kind of a dull green color. I never like to do bright green colors because it burns my eyes and it hurts. Which is why you'll never see like a really bright green color in my drawings because I don't like doing that. I think I'm going to go back to the ribbon and just do a very light pink to offset the blue. Blue and pink are complementary colors because they're the opposite side on the color wheel, so therefore they go together. So now I finished coloring everything, and I'm probably going to put it on the 8 palette and I'll pull up one of my references on the screen on what this is going to look like finished. But that's basically how I design a character. I try to make up the lore as I'm making some of their stories and try to add on to different possibilities, like maybe their parents died. You know, OC is never complete without varying trauma that makes them who they are. Sue me, I'm an artist, is what I do. So yeah. Welcome to the world, Emerus. You are going to go through a lot of suffering and horrifying. You're going to live in a horrifying world. But you know what? I love you. You're going to be in a better place one day. I don't know. Maybe I'll have a time traveler come back to save you so you can help prevent the apocalypse. Maybe you're the last person on Earth in a world filled with zombies. I haven't figured out your story yet. You could still be suffering. Anyways, I will just really quickly finish up her reference. I'm going to pick a nice color. Ooh. This blue is a nice color. Yes. That looks awful. Maybe light blue? That still looks awful. Midnight blue? Looks... Yeah, that looks a bit... I'm going to have to change this, so I'm going to overlock it. And then her colors will go right here. I'll show you the finished thing in a while, and we'll skip till that point.